which the brushing of the teeth will help that. It's getting the dirt out of the mouth. The major thing that we saw is cavities.
Every single student.
Every student had cavities, some to the point that they already had rotting teeth.
Which I told them all today in their
Yes.
assessment what happens with that. So.
Yes. And the headmistress and I have talked about just some very easy ways to help the students with that, with not just the brushing, but having the students drink water right after lunch, after porridge and things like that. And she and I will continue to talk about that. But overall, the students are very healthy. It's good. We're happy with that. We're happy Miss Brooke was able to do that and your exams today, so good. All right. But ask questions as we go. That's very American. Wait and just ask. So, go.
Okay. So, when teaching a foreign language, so for you it would be teaching English, students it is good for students to create output in that language. So to try to get the students to naturally speak that language in the classroom. And one of the ways that we do that is with games. And so when you're playing games, the students will be speaking in English and they will not realize that they are learning. So it makes them think that they are taking a break from school and a break from learning by playing, but it is helping reinforce and helping them remember the English. Does that make sense?
Like we did on the playground.
Yes.
Those simple games that we changed.
And so it is also very important to allow a student to struggle instead of switching back into Swahili, just to try to stay in the English and then try to describe the word by going around it. We call that circumventing. And so if you cannot remember a word, you start to describe like what part of speech it is or the things around it to try to get that meaning across to the student. It is very important to try to stay in English as much as possible.
So can you give us an example?
Of circumventing? Okay, let's say I am trying to say that I am thirsty, but I cannot remember the word thirsty. I could say, I need water. And then that gets the idea that, oh, they are thirsty. If I really want, chapati, I could try to explain, oh, it's made of flour, and it has water, and it kind of looks like it's in the shape of a circle, and you often fold it to eat it, just to try to describe what it is without switching back into Swahili. So that helps them learn more English, because as you say more words, they are picking up and remembering more words. So the more English we have, the more they will remember the English. Should I just jump into games? So I have a couple of examples of games, and I will leave this with you. And then I think Hunter, hopefully, and I will work together to get video of how each game works. The first one is 20 questions. And so this one is fun because if you are learning vocabulary, and you have the student think of a word.
So, student,
think of a word that the students have been learning.
A word that the students have been learning.
Don't say it out loud. Okay, so do you have your word?
I do.
Okay, so then the rest of the class has to ask questions to Mr. Ben to try to understand what word he is thinking of.
can I clarify a little bit?
Yes.
So let's say that we're learning the number words, yes? And so Mr. Ben, pick one of the number words. So keep it in a category. I know the students were learning animals? Yes.
Let's do animals.
Animals.
That's
so
what I
yes.
had in my
Yeah,
head.
okay.
Yes, animals.
So one of the animals that the students had learned, okay, you would tell them to pick one. So Mr. Ben has picked one, and then?
Then we ask questions. Ben, is it a big animal?
No.
Brooke, ask him a question.
Is it a small animal?
Yes.
Do you want to come up with a question?
Is it a type of bird?
Yes.
Is it a chicken?
Yes.
So you ask questions using different vocabulary words. I could have asked, is the animal white and black? And he would have answered yes or no.
See, it increases the students' vocabulary because they have to ask the question.
Brooke, think of another animal. Yes? Would you like to ask a question to Brooke? Ask Brooke. Brooke has an animal in her head. She is thinking of an animal. Ask her a question. Is it big? Is it small? Is it this color?
Is the animal big or small?
Just one question.
One
Is
question.
it big?
Yes.
Is it small? Just one.
Is it big?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it huge?
Yes.
She can only answer yes or no.
Oh.
Only yes or no.
Is it harsh?
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 Mean?
Harmful.
Not usually.
No.
No.
Okay.
How does it look like?
No,
Oh.
it has to be yes or no. Yes or no.
Is it black?
No.
Domestic or wild?
Yes or no.
Yes or no?
Is it domestic?
Yes.
Then,
Does it have horns?
baby?
Does it have
Cow?
Yes.
Cow. Good.
The cow has horns, and this is what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
your students will say, a cow has horns. But make them say it in English.
Only some of them do, right?
They
Some of
can't.
them,
They can't
bulls.
ask a
Okay.
question in
Yeah.
Swahili, or they can't say, "Brooke, the cow has horns." In Swahili, they must say it in English. It's
So-
a simple game.
Can you say
Yes.
sometimes though? Like what about the horns?
Sometimes. Yes,
Sometimes.
sometimes.
So it can be
Okay.
Sometimes. So the
Okay.
person who has the animal in their head, yes, no, sometimes. So the student must ask yes or no, not like Miss Brenda.
So that is the first game. It's very good for practicing speaking. Another one is to play charades. Do you know charades? No.
Have fun.
Okay.
Got another one?
Yes. So charades, I wrote down some animals on a piece of paper, and then a student comes up to the board and choose one of the animals. And now he has to act that out.
So, wait. So the list of animals would complement the lesson that you are doing.
Yes.
So,
So if you are learning about food, they have to act like food.
weather.
The weather, they have to act like the weather.
and then we have to guess
Yes.
what he is.
Right.
And he
No-
cannot.
no noises.
No
No
talking.
talking.
No noises. Okay, you can do noises?
No.
No, you can't do noises.
He's to stay quiet.
Because
Oh.
if it was a chicken, you could just go and then they would know it was a chicken.
This is a very fun game to play. I laugh a lot.
Okay.
Guess.
Oh, we can see it.
So guess what he is. No, just go. Just yell.
Just start yelling.
Just let the students yell.
Just say it. What do you think it is?
He's a
Is
rabbit.
it a cat? Is it a cat?
Yes!
Oh,
Up here, Joe!
I like the water knocking over.
Brooke, you're the next student.
Yes.
Get up here.
I just
Yes.
wanted
So,
to drink milk, but it was
yes.
like, yeah.
So this is a way to make the students call out for meaning. So
Sorry I'm late.
Just step on over the table or walk out. There's a bench.
We're playing charades.
I know, I worry about knocking things off.
That's okay, we just had a cat in there and it did it anyway.
Here, you go sit here.
Sure.
Can I go?
Yes, go. Yes? Monkey. Monkey, good. So, that is a game that we play oftentimes. I have two teams, and you're competing against the other team. So, whoever guesses the correct answer gets that point for that team.
Okay.
So it makes it a competition. So again, the students don't realize that they're learning.
Yeah.
And it gets them,
Huh?
I'm just gonna keep adding,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yes.
It gets them up and out of their seats in front of the classroom, makes them move. The more they move, the happier they are. And hopefully we've got the rooms a little easier to move in. Yeah, so.
Another game similar to charades is if it's very hard to act out, you can also just draw pictures. So have the student come to the board and draw a picture. So if I was doing weather,
Well, tell me draw.
huh? Oh,
So you draw one.
that works. Ben, come draw one.
Make Connor-
One more time.
Actually, Connor, you're gonna draw
What am I drawing?
one of these things. So the student has to draw.
Okay.
The student has to draw. Pick a card. The student has to draw, and then.
Okay. And do I start?
Start drawing.
And you have to guess.
Yeah.
The students would have to guess what the drawing is.
Oh. Oh.
So call it out if you know it.
Rooster.
Close.
Hen?
Keep guessing. Yes.
Hen.
A little bit more broad.
Maybe just along the
You see, you can't talk.
yeah.
Yeah. There are two answers that have been said that would be correct. Hen or rooster. It was a chicken.
Chicken, yeah,
Yes.
so that would be.
Yes.
Yes. So that would be that. And then the next person would come up from the other team and pick one. Do you want to do it?
She wants to do it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. I need the alphabet on there.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Just erase the chicken maybe.
Kuna cherry.
Hakuna kuchange.
Draw the one you want.
It's a carrot.
Camel. What was it?
Yeah.
Say it.
Say it. Cow.
Cow. Good. Yay. Woo! Okay. So that is how you play that game. Bring me is a very easy one. So if you're learning items in a classroom, bring me a chair, and the students have to go find a chair and bring it to you. Bring me a pencil. Good. Bring me water. Bring me certain objects, and the students have to go find those objects and then bring them to you. I'm calling this one stick swat because in the United States we have a fly swat. We swat flies with this, but we can use a pencil or a stick. And the teacher would say an object or an item. This is why I have the alphabet up here. So I would say A, and then the two students on two different teams, So yeah, we're gonna get into 2 teams. 1, 2. We're gonna join this team, and we are split. Okay. So Livingston, you're first. Yes. Here's your stick. Here's your stick. I would then call a word or a letter of the alphabet, and the student must find it and touch it with the stick. So, ready?
Yes.
N. It's a race. On the board.
Oh.
Yes. Point. Good. So we have 1 point. Ben. Job. We move very quickly. Ready? C. Good. 2 versus 0. Brooke. B. Oh, 1 more. You guys tied. F. Good. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is how you play that game. You try to move very quickly to get as many letters on the board. And if you do not want to split into 2 teams, you can have a piece of paper per partner and then play the same game but on a piece of paper. So then I would say T. W.
No.
That's an M. S. H. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay.
It's good. It's good.
Another game I like to play is a game I call rapid fire. So if I were to draw a letter on the board, so let's say I put, and then I've got 2 students, I could show them, and the first one to correctly say I would get the point for their team. So it's a race to see who can correctly say the word. So instead of just pointing to it, now they have to speak. So this one's a little bit more advanced than fly swat, or than stick swat. So any 2 people, we're just gonna have you 2 because you're right there.
I noticed I was. Oh, go ahead.
Ready? Whoever says it first gets the point. And A.
Hey.
Brooke. Ha.
I noticed when I was observing a lesson, R is a difficult letter sometimes. R. Yes. Because often recorrected. So that would be.
You can also do Simon Says. Simon Says is very good. So Simon says, touch your nose. Then all the students touch their nose. Simon says, jump. Simon says, find a friend. The trick with Simon Says, though, is if I say a command and the students, and I do not say Simon Says, but the student does that command, they are wrong. So if I were to say jump, and a student jumped, I didn't say Simon Says. So I have to say Simon Says for them to stay in the game. So if I say Simon Says, clap your hands. Clap your hands. Wrong.
It's reinforced vocabulary.
Yes. Simon Says, touch your nose. Simon Says, touch your head. Clap your hands.
Good.
So that is that game. And then I also have, I think that was the last one. Oh, flashcards.
Yeah.
Flashcards are very good for partners, for groups, very small groups, because the student can lead the activity, so more students get the practice. So it's just flashcards. These ones are in order, so give me a second.
So we brought flashcards with letters, numbers, math problems.
Oh yeah, let's do a math one.
Yeah. But we brought many so that you can all share them and do whatever, and they're all in a plastic bag. Yay.
Each of them is in an individual bag. Okay, I will show them a number or a math fact, and then they have to answer it.
15. 14. 15. 16. 16. 17. 18. 20.
Oh, we're doing order. one student can show it and then I'll say it.
16.
17.
It's in order still.
18.
18.
No, it's not.
15. 18.
But it's something that
You
can
shuffle
give to
it,
two,
yes.
you can give to two students,
Yeah.
and they can be
Move
working
very
on
quickly.
that.
Yes.
And then say, Ms. Brooke, because we saw she can't do math. Then you could be, if pairs had the others, then Ms. Brooke could get some attention just from the teacher, one-on-one.
Yes, so the idea with all of these is so that you can be watching for the students who don't understand. That way, when you have a minute, you can help that student more on their math facts, while other students would show flashcards to each other. Yes?
What if they use the whiteboards too? Like if a teacher showed it and
Yes.
the kids all write the answers?
So, I also have whiteboards for you. Some of you saw me use it the other day. The whiteboards are another very good way to see what students understand what material. And so all of these are staying here.
And we brought markers.
And markers
They're
and erasers. The erasers are in the backpack somewhere.
Oh, gotcha.
But if I had students, we'll just have to do 3. If I needed something, so the other day I had
Right,
math.
yeah, just do a math fact.
Math fact. We're gonna do 6 plus 8.
Hold it up.
Yes. 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 So you write it on the board. They write it on there. You automatically know if they got the correct answer, and then you can move on. So the next problem would be 8 minus 3. Yes. Good. Good. That's it.
It's very, very quick, rather than having to walk around and look at each lesson, or to have them turn their paper in, move on to something else, and then come back to it.
Yes. So it makes you know what they understand very quickly.
In a lesson that I taught and you got to see, this helped me. I tried a version of this, and 3 of the students in the back row weren't getting the concept. So I changed how I was going to teach and made sure they understood. And then at the very end, they were all able to get the answers. So, yeah.
That's what I've got.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Natalie.
A lot of information.
So maybe tomorrow, when you come in, you can think about what game you would like us to play in the classroom that would best fit your style. And then we can do it once, and then you can join in and you can lead it. Is that all? Thank you. Yeah. So do you guys want to do formative assessment next, or let's do the
I was thinking
iPads.
Yeah.
Formative assessment's gonna be the longest.
Yeah.
I also have, so I've got the whiteboards, and then I have games and explanations for why these can be fun in your class. And I'm putting that all in here for you.
Oh, sure.
Sorry.
This is a classic American teacher. The next teachers come in and they're picking up and too much stuff.
Scattered all over the place. Okay, so just a little explanation on the iPads. The school I worked at was very generous and made sure they wanted to give 5 iPads to HIP. On the instructions, they wanted to make sure they stayed at HIP at all times so that the students always had access to them. So something that we're going to do is we're going to work with Mr. Livingston, we're going to work with Mr. Fred, and we're going to make sure that they are locked in the office so that every day when you come to school, there will be 5 iPads available so that you can use them in your instruction. So that's what we're working on. To get started, I want to go over basic tips because we know that Mr. Livy is yes, move the cover. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so
No, Connor, I just need that accident.
Yes. No, this is a good idea. So, the cover's here. This is what it looks like without the cover. It's always a good idea to have the cover on, especially when you're around students. Yeah, Miss Natalie and I teach at the same school. Probably at least 2 or 3 broken iPads a week.
At least 15 dropped every day.
Every day.
It's very
Very easy to drop. These cases add protection. To put them on, it's very easy. They just slide right in. You want to make sure the iPad is clipped on though. So you just...
But the corners are the clipping points. So when you push on the corner, you should hear it. So listen.
Okay.
It makes that sound.
Yeah.
And then you know it's secure in the case.
Yes, absolutely. And so there we go, and it's back on.
Question.
Yes.
Point of clarification.
Mm-hmm.
They should probably, depending on the amount of use that you have, someone should take them out of the case and get the dust out. Because the dust is going to go right
Yes.
into there. Maybe once a month.
Yeah, and I would even say once a week, you'll want to find something that we can wipe down the screens with. Because as you see, a lot of fingerprints.
Yeah.
It can get kind of grimy.
Just your supplies.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got to.
Perfect. And we can talk to Mr. Fred about that too, and make sure that's something he can do at the end of every week. So to turn on the iPads, the very top of the case should be a black button right here. If you hold this button down, hold it down, you'll see this apple come on the screen, and that means it's turning on. Means it is turning on. It'll take a little bit, it usually takes a little bit of time, especially if it's been off for a while, like over the weekend, something like that. It will take a little time to come on. If anyone, so Connor, you can hold yours. I want everyone, if you just want to pass this around just so you see where the button is, right here, just where that top button is, you can just pass it around. And we'll wait for Mr. Connors to come back on so you see where that button is.
So this wait time means that if you're going to use the iPad in your classroom, make sure you turn it on before you use it. Otherwise, you're just waiting. So.
Mr. Connors has come on. That's about the amount of time. Usually it's a minute, 90 seconds to turn on.
And if the screen goes dark, you just have to hit the center button down here, which is easily located, and the screen comes back on.
So
That's what he just said. Say it again.
So we call it the home button. This button right here, the center button with the square, we call it the home button. If the iPad goes off, just tap the home button and it will come back on, just like that. So yeah, I'll write just home button up here. Home. At least that's what I call it with
Here,
my
I'll draw the button.
Okay, perfect.
Belly button.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like
The belly button.
It's the belly button, yes. So now to get it to come on, they are locked. It's set that way just to kind of protect it from, if students get on the iPad, something like that, or if someone else gets on the iPad. But to turn it on, you just have to slide right here. It says slide to unlock right here. You just have to hold down, slide to the right. The password to all of them is 1234.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it unlocks, and the screen is available for use. And this is mostly so that you as teachers can use it without worrying so much about students also getting into it when you're not aware.
Yes. And
As we all know, they learn quickly, but it's at least one thing that keeps things from getting too out of hand. Gives you a little extra time.
we have brought, we'll have to count again, but 6 or 7 chargers. And we'll go over that here soon once everyone's.
I'm gonna go get some pencils.
Okay.
Can we rewrite that like up to the
Yes,
side
yes,
here,
yes.
because that's not very clear down there.
Do you have another pencil? Yes.
One thing that we talked about, I know we talked about was several of you, but we would love to continue Skyping you And if you have any questions on the iPads, giving further tips about the iPads and different applications you can use with the iPads. One thing we'll move to on the topic of applications.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can we just put all of our contacts right into
Absolutely.
Skype and FaceTime?
Absolutely.
So go ahead and explain to them what that will do.
Okay, so what we can do is, so with this, there is a little button here called FaceTime. Little button here called FaceTime. We don't have the Skype button yet, but we can add it tonight. With FaceTime, so here, it's green and it looks like there is a camera on it, right here. Green and it looks like there is a camera. We will put our contact information in this so that you can call us if you have questions. So if you have questions on how to use an app.
No, she touched it and it.
Yes, no, that's good, that's good.
Yes.
Okay,
Can we
So-
just pass them out so they can?
please, yes.
While we're teaching, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, we can have our first test. You'll have to slide and type in 1, 2, 3, 4 to unlock it. That'll be our first sort of test today. So, okay, perfect.
Alright.
Okay, so you should have this in front of you on, it should be your corner, top left corner. You should have this little green button here that says FaceTime. I want you to click that button. Some of you might have an alert that tells you something. Just click OK to get through that alert if you have an alert that comes up.
This one's not wiped.
Perfect.
My number's in here.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We can take care of that tonight. Alright, so with FaceTime, you can click the plus button right here, and it will bring up your contacts. We're going to make sure all of our contact information is in here, so that if you tap the contact information, it will call, so it would call us at that point.
So I'll show them.
Yes, please.
So this number here is me. That's my number at home. So if you just press that number, it's trying to call me on my phone in my kitchen at home in America. I'm not going to answer. But if I did, then my picture would show up here. So,
Do you want me to try to call my dad?
Here, actually,
It would probably work.
I can connect to Wi-Fi,
okay.
and then you can.
Well, we have a lot of people in this Wi-Fi
Yeah,
right now.
I can try to call my dad if
Yeah.
you want. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to call my dad. So we'll see if this works. He's generally online and doesn't sleep a lot, so there's a chance.
It's middle of the night though.
He really doesn't sleep a lot.
Okay.
What? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so trying to call him, he might not be around, and that's okay. But how it will work is that the moment it would connect to him, you would see his face. His face would pop up on the screen.
We can arrange it. Are you up?
Yeah. Just call me.
Okay.
There we go.
You want to close it?
Okay. So we're gonna try FaceTiming right now. I'm trying to FaceTime Miss Natalie. It might not work because you're on airplane. And it's calling numbers specifically.
So why don't we arrange to FaceTime someone tomorrow morning?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay.
So
So
yeah.
tomorrow morning before classes, we will call someone on FaceTime so you can see it.
Yes. Yeah, it is a cool feature and it's very easy. It will be very easy for you to use. I think all of you were able to find it very quickly. And with that tap, you can contact any of us right away. And so if you have any questions at any time, please don't hesitate to FaceTime us.
Although we might be asleep.
Yeah, this time. Yeah.
So email us first.
Yeah.
I don't sleep, so it's okay, call me.
Yeah. You can always try to call, but if we don't answer, we might be asleep or busy with something, so you'll always, you'll want to arrange it through email, but sometimes I might just be around too if you have any quick questions. On that note, I think the App Store. Yeah. All right, so if everyone wants to get on their iPads, get, swipe through, do the 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go. And then click your home button. So when you're in an application, To get out of that application, you click that home button, that center button.
That's what we just did, so we did this.
So just tap it, and you can just tap it with your finger. There you go. And that takes you back to your main screen. Let's pretend like Mr. Fred or Mr. Livy go to a conference and find a really cool app that you want to use, or you find out from Skyping us or FaceTiming us that there's a really cool app you want to use in the classroom. To download apps onto your iPad, you can click this blue A right here that says App Store. You tap on it. And it will be on your purchase right now. What I want you to do, on the bottom of your screen, there is a star that says Featured. I want you to click that star on the bottom left of your screen. And we'll see if it loads. Okay, it loaded for you, perfect. Do you want to hold your iPad up real quickly?
There's loaded as well.
Oh, awesome, it's loading. Okay, so yeah, if you want to hold your iPads up just so she can see real quickly, just hold the screen. There's a list of applications right here that you can download and that could help you in the classroom. So you would tap on it, and we've downloaded quite a few apps here. It's pretty quick with the internet here.
This, we do buffering.
Mhm.
Buffering.
Yeah,
But can you tell them what it is?
buffering.
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes we have a lot of devices, a lot of iPads and phones on the internet right now. When that happens, and it's happening with mine, the App Store may not load that quickly. And sometimes you might have to turn off your iPad and turn it back on to get it to load the App Store.
And
Sometimes.
when it's doing this called buffering, you'll see up in the corner, and show them that it's going round and round and round and round.
Yeah.
It
And
means it's looking for it.
And right now mine, you don't see that buffering, and that just means I need to turn off my iPad.
It's up in the corner now.
It's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, so we have it up in the corner now.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for mine I just need to turn it off. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Okay. So there are two apps I want to show you that could help with class instruction a lot. These are presentation applications where you can create presentations very easily. The first one that I'm going to show you, it's called Slides, Google Slides. So what you're going to want to do, I think you're going to want to tap the home button if you're still in your application. So you're still in the App Store, so let's tap the home button to get out of the App Store. Perfect. I want you to, so you have a list of applications right here, but you have even more if you just put your finger here and drag to the left. Perfect, awesome. Okay, so you have a list of apps right here. We're gonna click on the one that says Slides, Now yours may not work because I don't know if we don't have the HIPAfrica Gmail connected to yours yet, but we're gonna take care of that tonight. And in the meantime, I will show you, okay. I will show you what mine looks like. So here are all the slideshows. I've used so many of these for my instruction back in the US. So you have a whole list right here of all kinds of instruction. So to give you an example of what that looks like, if I just clicked on one of them, real quickly, we'll see if the internet's cooperating. And as Miss Melissa talked about, the buffering button's right here, which means it's loading. And there you go. So this is a presentation tool. So if I click play, that I could use in the classroom. Now, right now, we have it set so it has to have the internet to work. We're going to set these up so that you can create presentations when you don't have internet. So we'll show you what that looks like. It's loading now. But let's pretend like you have something that you want to teach about domestic animals. So we watched a lot of lessons on domestic animals and pets. You could have pictures of pets loaded, of different types of pets loaded on here. You could have short videos if you wanted those on here too. There's all kinds of things that you could have on a presentation to help out with your instruction. And this is, Google Slides is a really powerful tool, and we'll make sure tomorrow that you can use it offline too. We'll have the HIPAfrica email logged into each of these iPads. And so then if you also have questions tomorrow, we can show you how you can start making presentations tomorrow. Let's pretend like you need to take notes of something real quickly. If you go to your home screen, onto that first one, so you'll want to slide over so that you have your first apps listed. You can click on what's called Notes.
It looks like a notepad.
Yes. So, with Notes, you should have a list. It will tell you, some of you might have to click Continue because it's the first time you've opened it. So at the very bottom, there is a Continue button. Continue. Yeah, that's why GarageBand wasn't on there. That actually makes sense. Okay, so in the corner, you should all have, so it would be your top right corner, you are going to have a pencil button. Click on that pencil button. That's going to create a new note. And then a keyboard's going to come up. So let's pretend like we had a team meeting today that you all met as a staff. You could type about that meeting right here just by using this keyboard. So this is
how to do this.
oh
Just
yeah.
like
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So each of them are different though.
Oh really?
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay, we all can.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing that you can do with your keyboards is they work as stands too, as Miss Brooke in the iPad over here. So on the backs here, you should have little divot points right here. If I turn mine over like this, I now have it as a stand, like this. So now it's much easier for me. Sorry, had to get the Safaricom out of the way. So now it's much easier for me to type. So I have typing right here. It would be much easier for me with the stand up so that I could type the notes that I needed to.
So, see,
like this.
you switch to numbers.
And there's
And
another
then you wanna
divot
go
too
back
if you
to
want to
letters.
go higher.
Tap there.
So there's this one.
Yes.
If you want it
And-
higher,
Yeah.
Very
And you
quickly,
have to
this,
touch
put it
this
there.
button
buttons to
brings you
touch.
to
So
numbers.
whatever you
Yeah,
like better.
numbers here.
Zero
Numbers.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then this button brings
All right. Okay, everybody. I'm really impressed by the amount. I mean, I love how you're taking to the iPads and really trying these out. We're gonna end today because I know we have a tight schedule with this telescope and our star day. So I'm just gonna show you some fun apps.
Close this out.
Yes. So first thing I need you to do is you're gonna click the home button. And what we are going to do is, I'm thinking Skyview. Yeah. Is we are going to end by going to Skyview. So I need you to, most of you will have to move over to the second screen.
No, Skyview. See, this says iBooks, App Store, Slides.
And you're going to see it will be titled Skyview Free. Skyview Free. And you are going to click on that.
We're doing this tonight.
Okay, you're going to click Allow. Now, some of you will have a prompt. It's going to ask about where your location is. You're going to click Allow. It will then tell you it wants to use your camera. You're going to click OK. I'm going to click OK. All right, perfect. Okay, so now, once your application is working, you will be able to hold this up and look at the stars in the sky. And it doesn't have to be dark. This will show you stars, planets,
Where they are.
and where exactly they are at this moment. So, All right. Would someone else like to use my iPad? You absolutely can.
And the stars. So if we're looking at the stars, that's.
Here, I'm gonna relinquish this one too. I need to sit down on my deck.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a constellation. What?
Saturn will come
It's like a
and we'll look at
combination of stars, I guess.
Yep.
And you'll be able to see Saturn tonight. Anyway, it shows you,
Isn't that cool?
this is.
And you can even put it towards the ground and it'll show you like the other side of the
All the
earth.
stars.
See, those are planets.
And they have a name, and those stars align to.
Yes. And
So it's up.
one thing you'll want to make sure of is, so if you put your cover on, you can see all of the stars very easily if your cover's on the back. If it's not, you'll see both the background of the classroom and the stars. And the reason why it does that is it's designed for you to look at the night sky, and that's what we'll do tonight.
Do you see the
So
planets?
if you were looking through a
Put this,
telescope
put it on the
through the
circle.
ground right now,
See that circle? Put it on the planet.
and then
It like lights it up.
Say
Or you can click it.
to use it in a
That's
classroom
Venus.
later. Right there. And then it will ask what you want to do with that image. So
the moon or
Oh yeah.
here's Mars.
The moon is straight up.
Moon is oh, there's the sun.
No, the sun is this side, you know.
Yes, sun.
Yep. So sun,
Okay.
and if you click, so
it's taking that picture and it's going to put it.
So that's
one thing that you can do too, if you tap on any of the planets, it will give you a description of that planet. Same with the sun, same with the moon, or any constellation / collection of stars that you find. One last thing this can find are satellites. So you can find any satellite in the sky, and one good lesson we thought of is that 2 teenage girls sent Africa's first ever satellite into space last year.
Sorry.
You can find that satellite and look that up too, and find where it is in the sky at any time. Mr. John and I tonight will show how to look that up during our star event tonight. We'll have the iPads ready as well as the telescope if the clouds cooperate, so fingers crossed. And you're gonna hold it down, and it
Now
will
hold
give you
it
this.
down farther, like from one time.
It will give you an option that says slide to power off. So you want to hold.
And then you slide it right here.
So
Slide.
yeah, just hold it down for a while. It will give you an option that says slide to power off, and you will slide, and that turns them off. Tonight, if you're all able to come tonight, we'll show more with Skyview, and also more with the iPads. And then tomorrow, I hope to model how we can use the iPads in the classroom. Yeah, Sunday, Sunday.
So we will pass these back in. We'll get them stored safely. And tomorrow, I think I spoke to some of you. Tomorrow, we would like to end games at about 3:30. Yes, if we can, 3:30, because we have gifts for you. So we'd like to present those. And then tomorrow night, hopefully, if we can figure out where to show it, we have a video that we have made about what we've done here and the students and things like that. If we can't figure out how to do it, outside, we will just invade your classrooms and show everyone classroom by classroom by classroom. I think that might be the ticket. And then bring some of the parents may come around 4.
We could also do it in one and just have people rotate too. So yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.